Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the EDI Jester, the court thereof. Hello, how we doing? Well, I've seen some gobblers in all my born days, and let alone the fight of the last 5 years. And as you know, one loves to pick at cobblers, but this takes the biscuit. This takes the biscuit. It's just, I'm aghast. Can one be aghast? What's a ghast? I think it's some kind of ghost. Anyway, enough with the wobble. Right, this is from the New Statesman, okay? Why they published it, I've got no idea. The links are in the Dubras as usual, right? And it's written by somebody called Jacqueline Rose. Why does that ring a bell? Oh yeah, it's Peter Ustinov in Death on the Nile, isn't it? The murder of Jacqueline de Belfort. Quel dommage. Anyway, the gender binary is false. Just, you got your cup of tea, it pops up, and you feel yourself deflate before you start. We should question a mindset that viciously excludes whole groups of people. Right? This. Right? So let's see what we've got. We asked two thinkers to address one of the most vexed questions of our time. What is a woman? Here, Jacqueline Rose argues against the claim that sexual differentiation is reality. See here, and there's a link, for Richard Dawkins making the case for biological sex as a true binary. Who in their right mind would go up against Richard Dawkins? Jacqueline Rose, obvious. What is a woman? It begins. The formulation has the merit of suggesting that to be a woman, far from being obvious, is a question and one susceptible to more than a single reply. Adult human female, Jacqueline. This is encouraging at a time when the fight over the definition of what a woman is has taken on such virulence. Being a woman is at risk of becoming a protected category. It already is, you numpty. As the binary man-woman hardens into place. Well, let's assume that, evolution is cement. That's got to be the longest drying cement in history. Is it dry yet? No. What day are we on? 45,109,000. Well, let's give it till tomorrow. It's Anthony Crackers. Right, okay. This is happening even though it has always been a central goal of feminism to repudiate the very idea of womanhood as a form of coercive control that means the end of freedom. That's a clever bait and switch there, isn't it, eh? So, but a woman is at risk of becoming a protected category as the binary man-woman hardens into place. We're talking about sex, right? This is happening even though it has always been a central goal of feminism to repudiate the very idea of womanhood. No. Right, okay, absolutely not. The idea of feminism was to say gender is unreal. Femininity is unreal, right? Femininity is unreal. Sex is real. Gender is unreal. I mean, this is way out there. The central goal of feminism to repudiate the very idea of woman. It wasn't. It was to raise up the fact that one's womanhood and that one's sex should not limit you in any way by succumbing to the pincer of gender. Likewise, men, right, should not succumb to gender by behaving in stereotypical ways that are about the negativity of the worst kind of gender, be it masculine or feminine, the two vile strands of the toxic masculine or toxic feminine. I don't understand it. I mean, the feminists will tell me if I'm wrong, but I've done a bit of reading and I've spoken to a few of you, sometimes with a gun at the back of my neck, but I've spoken to a few. Right, okay. But the central goal of feminism is to repudiate the very idea of womanhood. So, from their perspective, because woman doesn't mean, adult human female, womanhood to them is gender. So they're just playing with words, right? To repudiate the very idea of womanhood as a form of coercive control that means the end of freedom. No. Right? Okay, no. This is where the social constructionist idiot butts up against the reality of biology. Ironically, this appeal to the category of woman as a pre-given unquestionable is being made in the name of women's safety, another core objective for feminism over the centuries. Absolute unmitigated rubbish. Right? Well, I'm a bloke, for God's sake, and I'm having to tell you? Right. Camille Paglia, right? One of the big thinkers, Germaine Greer, all the big thinkers. You know what Camille Paglia said feminism was? She said feminism was the right to risk rape. And when she said it was the right to risk rape, she meant that the idea that women had to be chaperoned around colleges in the 1950s and 60s was essentially gender behaving in the most awful, dreadful, overprotective manner from the masculine side. They needed the protection of a man. What she said was, we don't want you to protect us, we want to risk rape. So what you're saying is utter, unmitigating guff. Jacqueline Belfort Geldermach. Right? Absolute unmitigated guff. Women's safety, another core objective for feminism over the century. For the love of God, you know, we look at safety from the point of view of what do individual people need to be safe. Right? Feminism was like, right, we're feminists. What do you want? Safety. Really? Oh, right, okay. This is absolutely insane. Is Jacqueline a bloke? Anyway, right. Except that now it seems any question about what a woman is or might be must be dropped the moment the threat of sexual violence rears its head. What? Which suggests as it is the category of woman as much as the safety of women that needs protection. You're mad, right? You're you know, they're coming to take me away. I'm sure Richard must have made a much more polite and observant response to this kind of nonsense than me. They categorise you as a thinker, for God's sake. Right, threat of sexual violence rears its head, which suggests it is a category of woman as much as the safety of women that need protection, but the category of woman does need protection. Adult, human, female. What's wrong with you? Right, it needs protection specific to female. As males need protection specific to male. They're different things. Right? And then humans need protections for humans, which are all the same things. Okay? We recognise that women have particular needs, and we as a society endeavour to help with those needs. But those needs are not designed to put them into some straitjacket, as you imply. Feminism didn't reify gender like you are. This is insane. Absolutely cobblers. In the most prevalent version of this argument, trans women who were once men. No, they are. See, this is what happens when you uncategorise male and female. This is what happens when you try to uncategorise that basic, absolutely immutable single truth about us all that anchors the ship of humanity to reality. What this person is doing is putting gender ahead of that and thinking, well, I'll unanchor the ship, right? Which, if we continue the metaphor, there's some ugly crab-like creature just poking at the anchor. Right. Trans women who were once men must be excluded from women-only spaces. No, because they're men, with which they threaten by dint of being deep down still a man. Well, they're not deep down still a man. Just pull their pants down. You'll find the man-need angler. Or if you don't, they've hurt themselves, in which case they're not well. Right? Regardless of the lengths to which they have gone to leave that identity behind, man's not an identity. They are literally insane. This is insanity. They are completely unmoored from reality. They are frauds whom women should fear. Yes, they are frauds, and women shouldn't be the only ones that fear them. They are frauds, and we should all fear them. The ability to live fraudulently and have everybody else play along with your fraud? I don't think so. Jacqueline de Belfort Geldermach. I don't, right? Okay. I just just gobsmacked by it. It was Simone de Beauvoir who famously wrote, "One is not born a woman, but becomes one." Right? I think there's some context missing there, don't you, Jacqueline? Whatever biology may dictate, becoming a woman is something that society, not nature, enjoins on all humans biologically classified as female, as it casts its oppressive diktats over them. No, Jacqueline. No. Right? The reason that the categorization of woman exists is very simple, right? Male and female. You've got no problem with that, I presume. Oh, gosh. What a presumption I've made. You dubious thinker. Right? I'm being polite, folks. The problem that you've got with male and female, right? So males and females, is that you then got the problem of children. So male and female, which describes everybody, then becomes man and woman. Yes? Are you getting this? Boy and girl. all of which are descriptors of a biological state. All of which are descriptors of a real biological state. Now, once you get past that, it gets complicated. But you've got to have that initial anchorage, haven't you? Which, of course, doesn't make you happy, because that's what you, with your strange crab-like linguistic pincers, are attempting to screw up the anchor that keeps us all grounded. It says that it casts its oppressive diktats over them, mind, body, and soul, layer upon layer. No, it doesn't. No, it only does that if you allow yourself to fall for gender. Right? This goes against all of the latest research. This woman knows nothing of the subject upon which she's writing, and she's supposed to be the alternative to Richard Dawkins. It's absolutely beyond the pale. Has Ellen Joyce seen this? Has Maya? Well, for that matter, Germain or any of the other thinkers. I'm not going to go through it all, because you need to read it for yourself to get it. Oh my God. Right? They quote Andrea Long Chu, that vile bloke. As written in her book, it's his book, Female. The biological category female, as it is understood today, was developed in the 19th century as a way of referring to black slaves. Dear God. Okay, you go and have a look and do the work yourself, because it's quite fun to do, isn't it? Go and have a sit down and go, no. So racism, right? Sexism, they are what they say they're not. You have to see this to believe it. It's the most extraordinary thing. I'm gobsmacked. It goes on and on and on and on until eventually, what is a woman? Speak for yourself. Who on earth can presume to answer the question on behalf of anyone else? In the end, it is a matter of generosity and freedom. You need to F off, dear. Whoever you are. Jacqueline de Beauvoir. Galdabash. Go and have a look. It's absolutely bloody insane. Links in the tuberous. This is supposed to be the answer to Richard Dawkins, one of the most serious thinkers on the planet. And they reel out this, gibbering, dribbling, ridiculous creature. It's just insane. What have we become? Go on, go and have a look yourself.